ask, or you didn't have anybody to ask and you just want to know, what would be that question? You can go off, I'm giving you permission to go off mute, ask me the question. If somebody else speaks, we'll take the first guy and then we'll go to the second galler guy. So what's that question you want to know about profit share? So who's going to be the brave one to ask me that question? Claudia, what are you going to ask me?
Oh, it's Liliana. Hi.
There's three of us.
Yeah, there's three of us here.
That's all I know.
What I want to know and ask is, what is the easiest way to teach our agents how profit share works?
Easiest way for people to learn profit share?
Yes.
Okay. Well, LEARN. I think one of the easiest ways is you watch this class that I do over and over and over and over and over again, and you're going to get right to teaching profit share, and then you can teach it in your own market center, or you use my video to show in your market center. What role do you have?
Yeah, and we have Claudia CMCA.
Okay, and so what role do you, I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Liliana.
Oh, that's Liliana? Okay, hey, I can't
see. There you go.
That's Liliana talking to me? Look like you. So it's taking this class over and over again and teaching it in your market center, sitting down and getting a committee together or great people together that want to learn it, and then everybody kind of mastermind and learn with each other and take this over and over, and we'll get an advanced profit share class going so we can just even continue to learn at a higher level.
Yeah, I guess what we're looking for is like an example. If Liliana brings an agent to this office and this office starts producing, what does that look like for Liliana? Like, because they don't know what they don't know. Okay, and they need the specifics.
That's in the class. So as I teach this today, you're going to learn those things. That's what you're asking about. You're going to learn that. So that's why I say when you teach this, it'll give you those examples of what you can share with the agents. And then if you want more from that, continue to come to my advanced classes, and we'll dig into that even more.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to this.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh, Ashley put the manual in the chat for you. So if you want to pick up that manual and then print it out or download it to your own computer and follow along, that would be awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to right now share my screen with everybody. And just some, I'm going to share my computer sound, and just for some etiquette purposes on being on Zoom, please make sure that you stay on mute because sometimes there's background noises or dogs barking depending where you're at, and we want to make sure that everybody can hear appropriately, so make sure that you stay on mute. We want you to use the chat, so if you have any questions at all throughout the course, just make sure that you write those questions in chat. There will be times that I give you permission to go off mute and ask questions. Follow along in your book. And if there is something that's really, really important, you can ask, you can go into the chat, and you have an emergency for some reason or something, you can go into the chat and you can let Ashley know something. You can also text her at 407-970-3533 if something happens and you lost video or something emergency happens, you can't get into Zoom, just text her and she'll be happy to come back. So today is, like I said, one of the first times. Are we recording this? Okay, so I got to move this. Good now. Everybody, can everybody see my PowerPoint right now? Yes. Everybody good?
Yes.
All right, so hold on, because we're making sure that everything is good. Okay, so everything is good. Everybody can see clearly? Awesome. All right, very good. So I want to thank you guys all for being here to take this profit share class. Like I said, we're going to be doing this monthly for you. If you're a market center administrator on the call today, or if you're a team leader, we're going to be, or anyone, we're going to be recording this, so you're going to be able to go back and watch this over and over again. We are going to be teaching this every month as a new profit share class for anybody that wants to be able to attend. And then based on whatever you guys want to do, we may have an advanced profit share class, which would mean we would get together possibly once a month and talk about advanced opportunities to be able to earn profit sharing. So we're going to go through the class today. Hopefully you guys are all going to learn all about how fabulous profit share is. And then if you want to learn more, you want to be able to engage more with, depending upon the participation, we'll have an additional class for you. But this will be taught every month. So market centers can just Zoom this in or take the recording and play it in your market center. So you always are going to be able to teach profit share. So before we begin, I'm actually going to show you where you can go to a video to watch Gary Keller talk about profit share. So I thought the best way to open up our class today was to show you the guy that, along with his original ALC in the Austin Southwest Market Center, actually came up with this idea of profit share. You know, this was something that was not at Keller Williams in the beginning. It was something that was actually created when a number of agents back in the early 80s left Keller Williams, and Gary went to his top ALC members that were remaining and said, what do we want to do to build a company that nobody ever wants to leave? And they said, well, Gary, we're helping you grow this company. We're all participating together. We want to be trained. We don't want to be taught, felt like business people. We want to have an economic model that's fair to us. And hey, since we're helping you grow this company, we want to be able to share in the profits. And that's how profit share was actually created, was the original ALC. So I thought, what better than to open this up? It's a 7-minute video, and I want you to really pay attention and listen to this. As we're running the video, I want you to, in the chat box, list some ahas, some things that you maybe didn't know about, some things that you're just remembering about, or something that was just an aha, like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that before. Now, I'm going to show you how you can get to this video, because this is open to anybody. And rather than just having it in the queue, I thought I'm going to go ahead and take the time to show you how you can go to this video. So for those market centers that want to play this video in their market centers, or for an agent that just wants to be able to play it again and watch it, or if you want to show it to a potential recruit or somebody that's interested in earning profit share, this way you'll know where to be able to get it. So first of all, what I'm going to do is try to get out of what I'm doing right now, which is stop sharing. And I'm going to go down here to try to get back to my screen. This is kind of the hardest part, is navigating through trying to get out of here. So hold on for just a second, guys. Well, Ashley, I can't get out of my here we go. I got it. It finally went. All right, so we're going to go to your browser. You're going to type in your browser, you're going to type in KW Connect. kwconnect.com. You see it right here. Oh, hold on. I got to go back and show my screen. Sorry. Challenges with getting around. Okay. So share my screen. I want to make sure we got our computer sound going. Okay. Now, for those of you, I went to kwconnect.com, and as soon as I clicked on kwconnect.com, it took me to this page. Now, what's important is I was already logged into KW Connect. Some of you may not be. So if you're not logged into KW Connect, what you need to do is just put in your username and password, and then you're going to go up here to the search bar on KW Connect, and you're going to type in profit share today. Now, Ashley, would you please put this in the chat box, because this is really important. It's profit-share-today. It's not just profit share. It's profit-share-today. Then you click search, and the video will show up here. You click on the video, and we're going to play it. So can everybody see my screen? Everybody good? Everybody's okay. So everybody's good. Ashley, you're good. I'm going to play this now. It's about 7 minutes long, so please pay attention. Write your ahas in the chat box. Here we go.
You know, the strength of any organization comes from its people and the cultural bonds that connect those people to the organization. Throughout Keller Williams' history, those bonds have been nurtured through many channels, but are best personified in one very important mission: to build businesses worth owning and lives worth living. In many ways, that short sentence has acted as our compass, helping us navigate clearly as the waters around us churn with uncertainty. I've found that in business, just as in life, there are many roadmaps, but few compasses that point us to our true north. this may be the misunderstood secret of most success. Simplicity is where it all begins, and although everything wants to naturally become more complex, success is always found in simplicity. Our model for success has always been a simple one. Have low fixed expenses, have low to no variable expenses, keep a responsible physical footprint, be a training and consulting company, share our profits with all who helped us earn them, and most recently, we've added build, own, and control our technology. Now, all of these ideals thrive today because of the work that each of you do on a daily basis. And together, we've created the largest real estate company under one brand the world's ever known. And we're also just getting started, right? Today, I want to chat with you about one of the significant pillars of culture, profit share. To date, you and your partners have shared over $1.2 billion with our stakeholders and have enriched countless lives in the process. What used to be just another day on a calendar, the 21st day of the month, has been transformed into a connected cultural experience that lives and breathes the world over and is studied by many companies and major universities as perhaps one of the greatest examples of corporate alignment with its partners. And along the way, creating a truly passive economic opportunity that's never been seen before in our industry. The reason that profit share is truly passive is because when you sponsor an associate to our company, you have no additional responsibilities or duties. It's the responsibility of that recruit's market center and our company to train, nurture, and mentor them. We should never give the impression to a recruit that who they choose as their sponsor has anything to do with mentorship, training, or promise of business. I have found that the best relationships in life are the ones where it was the next organic step for both parties to come together and move ahead. In this way, profit share is the perfect passive income stream for a real estate professional who naturally meets outside agents during the due course of doing business and is so happy with their experience at KW that talking about it and inviting someone to experience it on their own is not only organic, but truly is how we care about other people. As spiritual beings, we are drawn to help others. And I truly believe that Keller Williams is the greatest real estate company on the earth. I do. And part of helping others is exposing them to that company and then rewarding those who help us grow. When our agents participate in profit share, they cease being Keller Williams agents and they become Keller Williams stakeholders. If everybody at Keller Williams was a stakeholder, what would the company look like from a cultural perspective, a growth perspective, a retention perspective? You know, early in my career, I studied a gentleman named Trammell Crow. If you're unfamiliar with it, there's a great book. It's a bit hard to find because it's out of print, called Trammell Crow Master Builder. He was in the real estate industry, commercial real estate industry, and he built what at that time was the largest real estate organization on the planet, based in large part to these concepts. During an interview in 1989, at the age of 75, Trammell said, "The only things I have in my life are my business, my immediate family, and a farm. But all of those people, the partners in the firm, they're my family, my brothers. I believe in my heart that the relationships couldn't be any better or warmer than that." I hear Billy was talking, he's enjoying it, and just grows over that. He's not doing it. This sort of form of culture can only happen when we're all in alignment with the foundation of the system of which we're speaking. In the case of profit share, the model is simple. First, teach passive income and the power of profit share as often as possible within your market. We do not present profit share. We teach passive income and the power of the aligned freedom of opportunity that represents. In this profit share statements each month within market center. The power of those sheets of paper is compiled. Third, honor associated referrals to the lines. That's a big deal. Build this company on trust and promise. The parts of this site refer and secure appointment for recruitment. Keller is market center. The market center will honor our associates inside our market center leadership's down. Simply build your own. We need personal leadership positions down on our leads. sure that they name the person who actually referred the recruit to them and secured the appointment for them as their sponsor. Additionally, sponsorship is not to whose team they join, any promises to help, any benefits to join, any promise to mentor or train, or even the team leader's presentation. Keller Williams Realty is a referral-based business in this way, and we train our agents to treat a referral source as good, if not better, than the referral itself. Well, that same common sense business practice should be embraced by all of our market center leadership when receiving recruiting referrals. When we reward the right behavior and foster a culture of gratitude for the associates that want to grow our market centers, it is at that very moment that our culture soars and our agents transform into stakeholders. The path of all businesses mirror the personal growth and path of its leaders. And profit share is as much a social experiment on true synergistic partnership as it is a financial certainty for its participants. That part of the reason the dream endures and together it continues to be realized. Said differently, go teach it, live it, love it. After all, you built it and it's yours.
All right, so I understand for some of you that was choppy. Was that for everybody?
All of us.
For all of us? Because it wasn't choppy on my side. So
Oh, it was bad.
okay, well, sorry about that. And it played perfectly. So maybe that's an internet thing. You know, as we do these, we're going to learn about stuff. So I'm sorry that that happened that way. And we don't know until we do this, right? So we don't know that those things happen. However, you do have in the chat where you can go and find that. So I'm going to encourage you guys to go and listen to it, because he really does explain thoroughly all about profit share, the importance about honoring referrals, the importance about who, when somebody refers someone to you, that who set the appointment. He also validates very, very strongly that it's not about somebody that's coming on a team, that you're going to promise somebody leads. It's not about the team leader having the interview. So there's really a lot of strong points in there that I want you guys to go back and listen to, because he really, really does clearly explain a lot of things that are questions that a lot of you have from time to time, and things that we, generally need to work to help. So sorry for that. So in the chat, go back and check that out. Okay. All right. I don't need to do that. So I'm going to go back here to share. I'm going to close this down and close this down, and we'll get back to our profit share presentation. Okay. All right. Get this. I'm going to move this up so this is not in your way. Ashley, are we clear with everything? Okay, awesome. So now we are on your page 2 in your manual. If you're following along in a manual, we're going to talk about today, what is profit share? How does it work? I'm going to go really slow in a lot of areas today, because I want to make sure that a lot of you really understand this. Ashley is going to be monitoring the chat box. So again, if there's something that you don't understand, just put it in the chat box, and then I'm going to stop maybe every few minutes, go back and check the box and answer the questions as we move along. We're going to develop a purposeful plan for your passive income, how your profit share tree works, how it grows, how you grow your profit share tree, and then build a passive income plan around that. So we've just watched the Keller Williams video. So passive income on page 4, okay? There's no, what the good part about this is, there's no financial risk that's involved. When, if you make an investment in a real estate property, or if you are investing money to get a return on your investment, you're having to put financial risk or your money in place in order to be able to get a return. There is no financial risk. You are a stakeholder in the Keller Williams system, which means that of all the offices in Keller Williams, you have an opportunity to earn profit share from any market center in the Keller Williams system, and that includes worldwide as well. You don't have to put any money down, so you have no financial risk. You have no legal risk, meaning, again, if you're an investor in a piece of property or an investment, you have a legal risk. You have no legal risk. there's no down payment. So just like a piece of property, if you were getting a return on your investment, ROI on a piece of real estate property, you have no down payment that you need to make, and you have no phone calls. What we mean by that is that this is true passive income. If you had a rental property or something, you would be getting phone calls from somebody to say, hey, my plumbing's down, my property's not, something's wrong with my house. You have no phone calls. Nobody's going to be calling you and bothering you. And at the same time, you have no obligation to coach, train, or consult anybody that you bring into the profit sharing tree. So it's just pure passive income by having someone name you as their sponsor. They join Keller Williams any place across the United States and Canada and worldwide, and you would receive a percentage of that profit from that other market center. And we're going to go into that today here in a little bit as to how that works. Okay, so who can benefit from this? Again, this is in your manual, okay? Who benefits from this? Well, you and your family can benefit from this. Your market center benefits from this, and all of Keller Williams benefits from this. So it can benefit many people in many different ways, okay? So and your relatives can benefit because this can be willed. There's beneficiaries that you can name. So if something were to happen to you, your profit share will continue to go on in perpetuity, provided that there's still the people that you brought into the company are still there in the company, and the market center that they're located at continues to have profit. This goes on in perpetuity. So you'll continue, or your relatives, or whoever you leave this to, even if it's philanthropic, if you left it to an association or to the American Heart Association, or you gave it to, something that was important to you, it'll go on into perpetuity, okay? And the other thing I think that's really important to you is that you can get actually 100% of your cap paid. So we have what we call the 100% club. And what happens is that if your cap in your market center is $18,000 and you earn $18,000, you actually are getting your cap back in profit sharing. And it doesn't have to be from your market center. It can be from any market center that you referred to. So you might get $2,000 from various places in the Keller Williams system. It all comes into you. And if you received $18,000 in profit sharing, and that is your cap at the market center, then you need to think about the fact that you actually have your cap paid for. So you truly are 100%. If you earn $21,000, if you included royalties in that, then you would truly be 100% capped, because your $21,000, if that's your cap, would be covering your cap and your royalties, okay? So you truly are 100% taken care of when you're earning profit share. So what will you do with your profit share? So I want you to think about this a little bit. If you had profit sharing, what would you actually be doing with it? I want you to kind of go to the chat box now, and Ashley, I'm going to go to the chat box as well. Or maybe you can tell me, you can go off mute and you can say what people would actually be doing with their profit share. So I just want you to take a minute, go into the chat box, and I want you to write down, what would you be doing with your profit sharing if you received money, mailbox money as we like to call it, from your profit sharing? What would you actually be doing with that? So go into the chat box and write that down. We're just going to take a minute or so and have you guys write that in the chat box. What would you do with additional income? What would you do with additional income if you had it? Ashley, are they starting to write some things down?
They are.
What would they be doing with that additional money, Ashley?
They are going to invest in properties. They're going to go sailing, pay bills, invest. Let's see, invest, travels, savings, money for my kids' college.
Wow.
Vacation, new boat.
And Ashley, that's just all from referring somebody that they're doing a fabulous transaction with. That's just by referring an agent to their team leader, and that agent joins, and they would be able to buy investment property. Imagine if your profit sharing was maybe $15,000 or $20,000 a year. That might be a down payment on a rental property that you could get paid off in 15 years, and then you would have passive income and leave that property, and it would actually cost you nothing to get into that property. So that would be awesome. Ashley, what else do we have down there?
Let's see, saving it, debt-free house. Let's see, travel, charity, teenagers.
Yeah, awesome.
Second home.
Awesome. Well, that's really great. Okay, Ashley, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and go on mute again, so we don't get that reverb back. And so that's awesome, guys. So just think about all of that. By referring an associate to your market center or to your team leader who refers that maybe that person is at another state or another city or something, and they'll find the team leader for you to be able to refer that agent to, that you can have profit sharing to do all those things with. So that's awesome. Great job, everybody. Okay, who is in the profit share system? So who do you know? Okay. And you and every person with Keller Williams is who's in the profit share system. So we call this stakeholders. A stakeholder is someone that has a beneficial interest in an organization. Someone that has a beneficial interest in an organization. So think about this. You are all stakeholders in Keller Williams all across the United States, Canada, and as I've said before, worldwide, okay? So think about who is it that you know that might be earning profit share now, and who do you know that would like to be earning profit share, or who do you know that you might be able to bring into the company that would love to be able to have this kind of opportunity. So let's talk about how this works, okay? And by the way, let me go back for a second, because if some of you are following along in the book, we also talk about on that page, we talk about growth share. So just as a reminder, we do profit share in worldwide. However, we call it growth share. So in the worldwide, not Canada, but any place out of the United States and Canada, we talk about profit sharing as being growth share. And the reason that we do that is because it's calculated the same way, but it's earned a little bit differently. Because in so many countries, the currency is different. Different countries have different ways that the governments act. And so we can't do profit share because countries all don't have the same type of economics that the United States and Canada does. So what we do in the worldwide is they collect royalties. The royalties never end. Your royalties in Keller Williams end at $3,000, but in Canada, in worldwide, those associates continue to pay royalties. So your growth share is actually earned through royalties, and it's paid on a quarterly basis. So we can have more information on that in an advanced class, but understand that your tree and the way that you earn it in here and the way it's put into your tree, it's received on the 21st of the month. So there's no change there. It's just calculated a little bit differently than it's calculated in the United States. So let's talk about how profit share works, okay? And right now we're on page, if you're following along in your manual, you're on page 15, okay? So an associate joins any Keller Williams Market Center and they name you as their sponsor. They name you as your sponsor. Again, this is what's important because you have to have a relationship and a connection and really have a connection with that person that they are making a decision to name you as the sponsor. They pay company dollar. I'm going to have an example of this here on the next few slides. They pay company dollar. When your market center is profitable, and thank goodness that we have many of our market centers profitable in the North Florida region. When the market center is profitable, on the 21st of the following month, so if this is the month of July, the earnings would be put into your bank account on August 21st. So on the 21st of the following month, some of the market center's profit is automatically deposited into your account if you have someone that has named you as a sponsor and if that person had a transaction and provided that that market center is profitable. So you are not getting a portion. This is really, really important. You're not getting a portion of the associate's commission. So many companies out there, you hear about revenue share. That is not the way that Keller Williams works, okay? You're not getting a portion of the associate's commission. You are actually sharing in the owner's profits. And so what's amazing about this company is that when an owner, an operating principal, makes the decision to own a Keller Williams franchise, they're actually agreeing that they're going to be splitting the profits up to pretty close to 50%. It's like 52-48, up to about 48% of their market center profits would be shared back with the associates. So it's really, really important that you all understand that this is not coming from an associate doing a transaction from their commission. It's actually coming from your operating principals, from the market center's profit. And I don't know of any other real estate company that they go back and share their profits back with the company. They do share agents' commission, but not the profits. So let's go on here to the next one. For vesting, for agents who joined Keller Williams prior to April 1st, so many of you probably on this call were with Keller Williams prior to April 1st. When you've been a Keller Williams associate for 3 years and a day, you are vested. So when you are vested, you could leave Keller Williams and still receive your profit sharing. That's really, really important. As long as you stay with Keller Williams for 3 years and a day, you become what's called vested. So when you leave Keller Williams, you would still continue to receive your profit share. Now, what does that mean? Even if you joined another company, you would receive your profit share. I'm going to tell you a story here in a few minutes. If you were just move out of town and you decided that you weren't going to be in real estate anymore for some particular reason, you'd still continue to receive your profit share. And the best part about this, and they're not saying that, is even if you can continue to recruit. So let's just say you left Keller Williams and you decided to do something else, but you ran into an agent that you would think would be a great Keller Williams agent. You can still refer that agent, even though you're not with Keller Williams anymore, and you would still continue to get that profit sharing as well. So the opportunity to earn profit share and the opportunity to continue to grow that does not diminish at that time. Now, for those of you who joined Keller Williams after April 1st, this is the new policy that was put into place in our IALC meeting last year. When you've been a Keller Williams associate for 7 consecutive years, so the vesting is 7 consecutive years now, and a day, you're vested. When a vested associate makes a business decision to move to a competing brand, their profit sharing no longer follows. We did that because we did some studies and we determined that we had some people that were with us. They left us, they went to another company, and then what happened was it hurt the profit share of everybody else within the Keller Williams system. So right now our profit sharing became so valuable that we decided, or the IALC and the voting members decided, that we're going to change that vesting period from 3 years to 7 years. Now, for those associates who choose to return to Keller Williams within 6 months of moving to a competing brand, their vesting period will be reset to reflect their prior vesting date and their tree. And remember, this only takes effect if they move to a competing brand. If you should leave Keller Williams, if you should be with Keller Williams for 7 years and you're not going to competing brand, maybe you're just going to be retiring or getting out of business, then you would still continue to receive your profit sharing. This is only when you're making a decision to move to a competing brand, okay? And again, if there's any questions on that, I'll be answering those in a few minutes. You can will, as I said, there's a beneficiary opportunity. So you can will your profit sharing to a beneficiary, and you have access to pull all your profit share reports on mykw.kw.com, specifically in the profit share folder, okay? So I'm going to stop for a minute. If there's any questions there, Ashley, do you want to ask, let me know what kind of questions we might have?
Okay, yeah, we got a couple that came in.
Okay.
So let me go back here. This was kind of a comment and a question. They said, we have no obligation to help or train our recruits, ?
You have no obligation to train your recruits. Here's what I'm going to say about that. You can, let's just say that you were in Florida and you were in New York City and you were looking at property, and there, of course, we wouldn't want to go to New York City right now with all the things that are going on with the COVID. However, these are different times. Let's just say you're going to New York, Arizona, wherever you may go, and you were looking at property and you met a great agent, okay? And you talked to them a little bit about Keller Williams, and they said, my gosh, I might be interested in joining Keller Williams. You might refer that to a team leader that might be in California or New York or wherever you might be. We would be helping you find the team leader or the appropriate office for that person to join. Well, they're in California. You don't know anything about California real estate laws, whatever. It's up to that market center to help that agent be successful. It's not up to you as the agent that lives here in Orlando to be able to coach and consult that person. It's up to that market center. Now, realistically, would it benefit you if you were to call them once in a while, if you were to talk to them, how about things going? Hey, I'm going to be going to family reunion. I'm going to be going to mega camp. I hope to see you there. Would that be impactful? Absolutely. Would that encourage them even more? Absolutely. Would you want to talk to them about saying, hey, if you see somebody that's interested in coming to Keller Williams, why don't you have them join? Let's grow our tree. Could that be beneficial to you? Absolutely. Is it required? No. Okay. So I'm just showing you the benefits. And the reason that would be true if you were in Orlando and you recruited somebody in Orlando at a market center, you know, maybe you're in Winter Park and you're recruiting somebody to Orlando Central or to Jacksonville. There's no obligation for you to train them, coach them, consult them, help them. However, it's beneficial if you give them a call and encourage them to do some of the things you're doing. That just helps grow your profit share. Okay? What's the next question, Ashley?
All right, we got about 3 or 4 more. The next question is, how soon after I join can I change my sponsor?
Well, once you join, you're naming your sponsor. You should not be changing your sponsor. There's no reason for you to name your sponsor. And that's why I want you to watch the Keller Williams video or the Gary Keller video. When you came to Keller Williams because somebody referred you and the team leader got an appointment or referred, and that's why you name that person. You're not naming somebody because they're promising you leads, because they say, hey, I want you to come and be on my team. You're coming because somebody referred you, and that's the person under our cultural behavior that you should be naming. So you're not going to come in and go, oh, I named Susie Smith, but I see that Sam Jones over there is writing a lot of deals, and I want to name him as my sponsor because I'm going to be able to get more deals from him, and I want him to have a piece of my profit share. You didn't even know Sam before you came to Keller Williams. You need to honor the system and name the person that was responsible for, in your heart of hearts, having you make that decision to join Keller Williams or that referred you for that appointment. Now, I want to be clear on something. Your team leader is always going to be the one that's going to be impactful in helping you make a decision because that's their job. That's our job as leaders in the Keller Williams system to be able to show you all the advantages of Keller Williams. However, leadership needs to honor who that referral got, how that person got in front of them. So that's the way that the profit share system works. And by the way, that's in your binding sponsorship agreement. All of that explanation as to how you name someone is listed. And if you watch the Gary Keller video, that'll even clear that up. So you can't change your sponsor. You can't change your sponsor.
Okay.
If a mistake was made, you can, and there's a 90-day window there, but you can't change your sponsor just because you decided, I don't want that person anymore.
Okay. In the after April 1st situation, does it mean they cannot receive any profit share for 7 years, even if they have people in their tree?
No. What that means is instead of being vested for 3 years, you receive, if you join Keller Williams and 2 days after you join Keller Williams, you recruited somebody to Keller Williams, you're going to start receiving your profit share immediately. It's just the vesting period is different. Prior to April 1st, the vesting period was 3 years and a day. So if you left Keller Williams for any reason, you continue to receive your profit share. The only difference now is that vesting period is 7 years and 1 day. So it got extended, 7 years and 1 day. If you leave Keller Williams for any reason other than joining a competing broker, you would continue to receive your profit share. But if you go to a competing broker and actually you're harming us and you're recruiting people away from us, that's kind of doesn't feel good. So that new process was put in place so people would not leave us and go to a competing broker and take people from us for their own purposes now. And what you have to remember is that's put in place for everybody because if we have an agent that left after 7 years and, or after 3 years right now, and they leave and they go to another company and they recruit all the people in their tree, that's hurting you as people that are in that person's tree from getting your profit share. So we did that to protect everybody's profit share. Any other questions, Ashley?
Yeah, we got a couple more. If one passes away and one heir gets the profit share, once they pass, does it follow the instructions per your will, or does profit share end?
No, it follows your instructions per your will. So if you've been with Keller Williams for 3 years and a day, and sometimes I'm not sure on this, so I'm gonna have to revert to say I need to check something out. But if you pass away in your vesting period, I have to ask compliance the question on that. But let's just say for our purposes today, you're vested. You've been with us for 3 years and a day, and you pass away. Whoever you name as your beneficiary would start receiving the profit sharing. If that person passes away, then that next person receives the profit sharing. Now, here's what's important. And this is why I emphasize this to our MCAs, our team leaders, our leadership all the time, is you need to fill out your beneficiary information on your profit share. If you don't fill out your beneficiary information, or if your beneficiary should change, then you die, or you die without a will, then what happens is, or you don't list a beneficiary, then that has to go to the courts, and that takes more time because you did not list anybody as your beneficiary. So make sure that your beneficiary is listed. You should not have any problems at all.
Okay. Somebody's asking about how much profit share. I know we're going to go into that a little bit deeper in the class, right? So like the amount of profit share. So we'll be going into that a little bit later.
Right.
Where do we fill out the beneficiary information?
You can go to your MCA, and they'll be happy to help you with that, with the binding sponsorship agreement.
Okay. And last question, then we'll move on. If someone leaves Keller and still recruits people to Keller, can this add to the agent's profit share?
Absolutely. So if I'm hearing the question right, if you've been with us for 3 years and a day and you leave Keller Williams and you go do something else, you can still continue to recruit to Keller Williams, and you can have people put into your tree provided they name you as the sponsor, and that helps everybody in your tree get more profit share. It's no different than if you are with us for 3 years and a year, 3 years and a day, and you're vested. It's no different than if you're with us or if you left us. It works all the same way. Does that answer that question?
I think so. That sounded like what they were asking.
Okay, very good. Well, just keep the questions going, and I'm going to continue on, and I think that you're going to get some great information here. Okay, so here we go. Let's continue on. All right, so develop a purposeful plan. So know how to build your passive income. Have a plan in place to activate your passive income potential. Utilize our resources. I'm going to be sharing some of those resources with you here in a little bit later. Look at that profit share on KW Connect, which I already have encouraged you to do. And we have a KW MAPS coaching program on profit share. So if you wanted to learn more and you wanted to be involved in a program for 3 or 4, I think it's like couple of months, maybe 6 to 8 sessions, they actually have some profit sharing classes that you can take. And what I'm going to do after this course, if we have enough interest, then I'm going to do an advanced profit share class. And what we can do is kind of mastermind, talk about it, and really help you all develop your profit sharing if that's something that you're really interested in. So we're happy to help you with that as well. All right, so let me share with you how our tree grows. I also have some profit share examples that I think you're going to be really thrilled with. And then I'm going to show you how profit share is actually calculated. So just continue to write your questions down. We'll get through this, and I'll show you some examples, and then we'll continue to move on. Okay, so first of all, how does your tree grow? First of all, there's you. And then there's your sponsor. So all of you that came into Keller Williams, you all needed to name a sponsor. There is no way you can come into Keller Williams and not name a sponsor. So everybody names a sponsor. So there's you, and then there's the person that you name, your sponsor. So then you have your sponsor. So when the person that came into Keller Williams, so there's you named a sponsor, and then your sponsor has a sponsor. And then you can see here, this is a reversal of that now. So you have your sponsor, then there's you. So let me go back to this. You see, this is the tree going one direction. You see it's your sponsor at the bottom, your sponsor's sponsor, excuse me, your sponsor's sponsor at the bottom, then there's your sponsor, then there's you. Now this is showing it how your tree grows, okay? Here's you, you're building the tree now. So you see there's your sponsor, underneath your sponsor is your sponsor's sponsor on that other slide. Now we have you and then all the people that you bring in. So these are all the people. And the reason we call it a tree is you can see that it's taking on the shape of a trunk, and then you kind of got to think about the branches that are growing out. So that's why we name it a tree. This is not a multi-level marketing. This is not a downline. So don't ever call it those things because it's not. And if you have questions about that, challenge me on it, and I'll be happy to share with you how that works and doesn't work as a multi-level marketing, because you don't pay any money. And it's no profit sharing scheme or anything like that. This is true profit sharing. So now let's go to the next slide. Now look at how big your tree is getting, because you have your first level, and then your first level went out and got people on their second level. So now you can see that you really, really have a full tree, and that's just on your second level. So there's you went out and got 3 people. Now, if the people on your first level went out and got 3 people, look at how big your tree got, okay? And now what I want to do is I want to show you some examples of profit share. Now, this is Mike Brody. Now, Mike Brody happens to be in my tree as well. I think he's like down on my 7th level. But here's what I want you to understand about Mike Brody. Mike Brody came to Keller Williams. He was in Texas, and he was like the poster child for RE/MAX. And he got a call from a gal by the name of Althea Osborne. And she said, Mike, we're looking to do something in the Texas area. Would you meet with me? Well, he wouldn't meet, because Althea did try to call him and he wouldn't meet. Well, Althea was kind of failing, and she wasn't doing so well getting people to try to join Keller Williams. So she hired a telemarketer, and the telemarketer's name was Darren Gribble. Now, Darren used this fabulous script to be able to entice Mike Brody, who was the poster boy for RE/MAX, to join Keller Williams. And his script went something along the lines of this. Hey, Mike, this is Darren Gribble. I know you're really busy, and I know you're probably untouchable. I just wanted to call you and see if you'd spend 15 minutes with me on a cup of coffee about a new plan that Keller Williams is providing to agents in the area. I'd just like to get your input on it. Would you have 15 minutes of your time? And he said, sure. So he went over and he met Darren Gribble, who, by the way, is a telemarketer. Okay, that means he was with Keller Williams, but he was a telemarketer person that Althea Osborne hired. And about 2 hours later, he excited Mike about the opportunity to be with Keller Williams. Now, I understand that this was back in the late, this is kind of like in the mid 90s, maybe 90, I think 94 or something along those lines that Mike joined. But what you have to realize, and I don't have his entire profit share here, that it wasn't to the extent that it is right now. Darren Gribble gets about $200,000, $300,000 a year because Mike named Darren as his sponsor, and Darren has one person in his tree. And what I want to show you here is Mike Brody, and I went back to about 2015, 672,000, 770,000, 841,000, 799,000. Last year in 2019, 706. Right now he's at 202, and we've had the COVID, and as you can see, his numbers have changed a little bit. He does have 3,000 people in his tree. However, he's been in the system for a long time, but what I want you to notice is he only has 40 people in his first line. So do you know 40 people that you can encourage to come to Keller Williams? Do you know 10 people? I'm going to show you mine in a little bit. I don't have that many people in my tree. So this is some pretty significant money, but here's the thing that's most important. It's not about the people on the first line that you get the profit share from. In fact, if you look over here, Ashley, are they seeing my arrow go over here? If you look over here, you see that he doesn't get any profit share from his first line. he doesn't get a lot of profit share from his second line. Where he gets the majority of his profit share is the tree, the bigness of the tree, because the people on his first line, oops, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong person here. The people on the first line, you see, hardly gets any here, hardly gets any on his second line. The people on his third line, fourth line, fifth line, those people are bringing in people that are bringing in people, and so the tree gets bigger. So as the tree gets bigger, you have more people contributing, even though it's smaller amounts, which I'll show you in a little bit. The more the people that you have on your first line will bring people in for your second line, bring people in for your third line, and as that tree grows, your profit share continues to grow. So that's a pretty significant number. Okay, now Mike is actually the top individual profit share earner in all of Keller Williams. Okay, and that's a pretty good number to. How many? I can't see all of you, but I'm sure you'd be raising your hand if I said you'd all like to have about $700,000 a year mailbox money. Ashley, are they all raising their hand? Hello, yeah, I'm sure you all would. Okay, let's go back here to the next one. Now this is Jimmy McKissick. Now Jimmy McKissick and Linda McKissick own the market center in Denton, Texas. Okay. Now, Linda, and some of you have heard of Linda and Jimmy McKissick. I'm going to tell you their story really quickly. Linda and Jimmy McKissick actually owned a restaurant. They've told this story, and she's given me permission to tell this story, that they weren't doing so well in their restaurant. And I think at one point in time, they were even considering bankruptcy. And Linda needed to go out and get a job. So she went out and she decided to sell real estate while Jimmy was running the restaurant. She was pretty successful at running at selling real estate. So at some point in time, Jimmy sold the restaurant or closed down, whatever, and he went into business with Linda as a real estate agent. Well, they became a very, very successful real estate team at the time. And this Carol Bounds gal owned a Keller Williams office in Denton, Texas, and she recruited Linda and Jimmy to the Denton Market Center. And so Jimmy and Linda named Carol Bounds as their sponsor. Well, about a year or so later, I believe that the franchise was up for renewal with Carol Bounds. She didn't really want to be with Keller Williams anymore. She wanted to go and buy a Century 21 company. So she left and she went and bought a Century 21, I believe, company. And there was nobody to take care of the Denton Market Center. So Gary called Jimmy and Linda and said, hey, I need you guys to take over this market center. And they're going like, oh my gosh, we don't know anything about this, but okay, we will. And so they took over the market center for the Denton Market Center. Linda was in Gary's mastermind about a couple of years later. So you have to understand the very, very beginning, she didn't really get profit share. And she didn't physically get it, nor did she really understand it. So she was sitting in one of Gary's masterminds, and back then, I think there was like 10 people in Gary's big mastermind. You got to remember, this is back in the early 90s, okay? And so he gave everybody assignment to go out and analyze a business. Well, Linda was the last person sitting at the table, and the 9 people before her took all the other stuff like property management, commercial, and all those things. And she said, well, shoot, there's nothing left. And Gary said, well, why don't you go do a study on profit share? So she said, okay. So she went and did a study on profit share, and she goes, oh my gosh, you can make a lot of money doing this. So she got purposeful at it. And I can tell you the story in our advanced class, but she just got purposeful with talking to people about it and, you know, being at events and sharing her story and so forth. So if you look at this, this is Jimmy, this is her husband. You can see that he named Carol Bounds. Jimmy only has 2 people in his tree at the very, very first level. And as you can see, he doesn't get any money on this first level. And he only has 2 people. And Jimmy gets, I don't know, $567,000 a year. However, it just so happens that Linda McKissick, his wife, named him as her sponsor. Now, Linda gets $817,000 a year in profit share. And you can see here that Jimmy is her sponsor. That was last year. So if you add up the 800 and the 567, that's about $1.3, $1.4 million a year in profit share. So if any of you think this is not real, it is. And here's the thing that Gary Keller says, the top profit share earner has not joined us yet. But here's what's even more amazing. Carol Bounds, who Jimmy named, is with another, I think she's out of business now. She probably gets about, like the other guy, Daryl, she probably gets about $200,000 to $300,000 a year because Linda named her as her sponsor. Well, she named Jimmy, but Jimmy named Carol. So she's not even with us anymore, and she gets $200,000 or $300,000 a year of profit share because of Linda McKissick. So guys, you never know who you're going to recruit or who you're going to be able to influence to come to Keller Williams. This could happen to you. And what I want you to point out is that Linda only has 28 people on her first line, but she's got 150 on her second line, 583 on the third line. And just like Mike, it starts to grow when you bring in people that bring in people that bring in people. That's why I want to have an advanced profit share class, because I want all of you to be able to earn profit share. I think it would be amazing if you earned $800,000 or $1 million in profit share, or you could be like me and get $30,000 a year. Now, I came to Keller Williams in 1999, and I named Monroe Carr as my sponsor because he was in line with some people that I knew, and Mike is somewhere down my line. I was the team leader of the Keller Williams Plano Market Center. Now, I did not focus as a team leader. I did not focus on my tree because that was not the right thing to do as a team leader. My job was to help my agents grow their profit share tree. However, through the years of being with Keller Williams, I found people in other states. I found people in other areas that I've encouraged to join Keller Williams. But I want to show you, I only have 9 people on my first line, and I only have 70 people in my entire tree because I've helped everybody else grow their profit share. However, I want to tell you, I'm really happy because I get $30,000 a year in profit share with only 9 people in my first line. But those 9 people got 45 people, and those people got 78, to the point where you can see here in my total, in my tree, I have 70 people on my 7th line. I don't know how many people, I said 70 people in my tree, I didn't mean that. What I mean is you can see all the people in my various tree levels here. Okay, so I don't have 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 people. I have, probably about, what is that? Maybe 150, 250, 350, somewhere about 400 or 500 people probably. But only 9 people on my first level that's giving me $32,000 a year in profit share. And I'm pretty happy with that because it takes us on a lot of nice vacations or various things that we want to do, buying other properties and so forth. So I think that this is a great way to show you where you can, how you can get, $20,000 to $30,000 a year. And what's even interesting, if you look at this, even though we've had the COVID hit, my profit share in January was higher, in February was higher, in March it went down. That's when our profits changed. In April, but I still got profit sharing. In May, but I want you to look here. In June, I got a significant amount of profit share here. Okay. Now I want to show you how profit share works. Okay. Now I'm going to do a little bit of calculation, and I also want to preface something by saying you are not expected to have to tell anybody how this works. I'm sharing it with you so you understand it, but I don't expect you to have to go out and explain this to anybody. Most of the time, people just want to know the basics of it. We teach this in classes, and when people join, we would be able to expand on this in a class. But as somebody that's recruiting people, you're not expected to have to teach this. So if you're an agent, and I just used a $10,000 commission because it was easy to calculate. So if you're an agent and have a $10,000 commission, GCI, let's just say the market center had $900,000 of GCI. We pay out, because we do pay out at 100%. Of that $900,000 in GCI, we may pay out $400,000 of that because we have that many people who are at 100%. So we don't get to keep company dollar. We're giving the agent all of their commission. However, we have this number that's called paid on gross commission income, paid on, which means we get paid on $500,000 of GCI. That's where our company dollar comes in. Now, if I have an agent that had a $10,000 commission, that's a ratio of 2%, because 2% of 500,000, 2%, the $10,000 is 2% of the $500,000. So that's where this ratio comes from right here. Now, the profit share, at 30%, we collect 30% from all of you. So when we have paid on GCI of 500,000, we're going to collect in company dollar, we're going to collect $150,000. If we have expenses of $90,000, that means we have profit of $60,000. Well, this profit is calculated through a Keller Williams calculation, but it comes out to about 52.48. 48% of, 48% of this profit goes to profit sharing, and 52% stays with the owners. This is what I mean. If you were at any other real estate company, the broker owner would be taking home $60,000. But because we are a Keller Williams company, a portion of that goes back to all of you for helping us grow the company to get this $900,000 and to get this $500,000 of GCI. So $28,000 of that goes into the profit sharing. Well, if you are the sponsor of this agent that had this $10,000 commission, you're going to get around 2% of this $28,000, which is actually $560,000, or maybe it's 0.02, but anyway, it's $560. That's what's in. Sorry, I meant to say this what goes in the profit share pool. Okay, so 2.2 of this 28,000 goes into this profit share pool. Now, if you are the sponsor of this particular agent, you would get 50% of that, or $280. If you are the sponsor of this person, you would get 10%, or $56. If you are the person that sponsored this person, you get 5%, then 5%, then $42 or 7.5%, then 10% or $56, then 12.5% or $70. So you're the sponsor of the person getting the commission, of earning the commission. You get $280. That sponsor gets $56. That person that sponsored that person gets $28. The person that sponsored that person gets $28. Person that sponsored that person gets $42, and so forth. Okay, to where we've paid out the entire $560. Now you might say, why is it more on the top and less on the bottom? This is how the profit share calculation was done many years ago to determine how it's going to work best for everybody. And you saw in the examples that I shared with you that the most amount of profit share comes from that that third, fourth, and fifth, sixth level and seventh level. Okay, even though it's lesser amounts, it's because of the way that the tree grows that it's calculated this way. Okay, now the reason that you get 50% if you're the sponsor is because you're the one responsible for bringing that person in. The reason it's heavier on the bottom here is that's the way that it's weighted in order to be able to be fair to people that have been in the system the longest, and how it's weighted in order to be able to benefit everybody. So again, if I go back here just to mine, you see that the majority of my profit share doesn't come from my first level. It comes from my third, fourth, fifth, and sixth level. Same thing with theirs, and same thing here. Okay, so it's the fact that that profit share grows. Okay, so now we're going to go and we're going to focus on the first level, but I'm going to stop right now for about 5 minutes and answer some questions, and then we're going to continue so we can end on time. Okay. Ashley, do we have some questions?
Yes. So there's someone that sent me a message, and they said they're in conversation with somebody who's thinking about coming back to KW. Okay. This person was with KW for 3 years or more. Okay, and they've been gone for about 2 years. Do they get to name a new sponsor?
No, they're vested. Okay. Assuming that, yeah, because they were with Keller Williams for 3 years. So yeah, so they're vested. So that this is the beauty of the program. they get to come back, and the person that they name continues to get that profit share. Now, let me say something about this, because this is really, really important. You still want that person to come over, and here's the reason why. If you encourage that person to come over, even though they're not your sponsor, you have to remember that you're contributing, or that person is contributing to the profit sharing pool or to the GCI. And so the more company dollar, if I were to go back here, the more company dollar that we bring in and the more we keep our expenses low, the more this profit grows. So even though they're not going to name you as their sponsor, it's going to increase our GCI, which is going to increase our paid on GCI, which is going to increase our company dollar. We keep our expenses in line. This number goes up. When this number goes up, this number goes up, and your profit share from bringing in other people will grow because the profit share grew. Let's just say that this number was $100,000. Okay. Now that's that, and that person contributed the same way. Your profit share, you'd get more profit share because the fact that the profit share number is bigger, because the market center is making more profit and sharing more profit share. So there's still a benefit for you to bring that person in.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ashley.
And does it matter whether they put this in there as well with the with them being vested because they were there 3 years? They had a tree, but they did not pay the.
We can reinstate that. So if they come back in and they haven't been paying their $25 a month is what they're asking,
Right.
then I believe we can go back and we can reinstate that person. They'd have to pay, as far as I know, the $25 for however many years they left, and we can reinstate that person.
Okay, and their sponsor would remain. Okay. All right. Next question. This is about, this is kind of a two-part question. And the first part is, what happens if you bring someone in and they fail to name you as their sponsor? Is there a way around that?
Well, this is a great question, because you want to make sure that you're influencing that person to name you. So in other words, if you just say, hey, I'm with Keller Williams, why don't you come talk to my team leader? But you don't tell the team leader about it, and you don't like give the person that you're talking to a book or talk to them a little bit about profit sharing, or excuse me, about not profit sharing, but about Keller Williams or something, or you're not, you need to call the team leader and say, hey, I talked to Sammy Smith. He's going to be calling you, or would you please call him to set up an appointment? You're kind of like solidifying that it's kind of like a referral. It would be like, somebody wants to buy a piece of real estate and you want to refer somebody a referral, but you just say, call this person, and you're not, they don't know that you were the referral person. Nobody knows that you were involved in it. So there has to be some kind of connection. We'll talk about that a little bit. There needs to be some kind of connection that you're influencing that person, and you want to call your team leader and say, I just talked to Sammy. He's over at XYZ Realty. Here's his phone number. Would you please call and set up an appointment? And then you want to do some follow-up, and you want to stay engaged with that person.
Okay, this is the second part to that question. This person, they said, okay, thank you. I was just thinking how I was going to start recruiting and just wondering how to avoid someone not naming them if they decided to join Keller Williams due to their efforts of marketing and so on.
Sure.
She goes, I guess I would have them contact me directly so I could talk to them first.
Right, because if you're doing marketing or something and you're saying, here, fill out a contact form and call this office, they don't know that you are the person, or they don't know anything about anything. So there needs kind of like think about it as a referral of a transaction. If it's a referral of a transaction, you're going to call if it's a referral and I have a referral for Sarasota, you're going to call the agent in Sarasota and you're going to say, hey, I just talked to this husband and wife team, they own a property in Sarasota on Longboat Key. They're looking for a listing agent. Would you please go and talk to them about listing their property? I gave him your name and phone number. Would you please call them? So there's a system to it. And so I love the fact that you're asking these questions, because I want to have an advanced class that I can help you guys with this, so we can really work on this and have some great systems, and you have systems in your market center so they know that you're engaged in doing this. And at the same time, I'm assuming you may not be recruiting for your own market center, but we can help you with the agents that you're, in the areas that you're working on, know who to work with and how you can do that. So I'm happy to help you with that.
Okay. What if the person you sponsored has left KW?
Well, if they were with Keller Williams for 3 years and a day, they're still in the tree. If they left Keller Williams before 3 years, they're removed from the profit share and everybody moves up a level.
Okay. And then the person about marketing said, thank you, that helps.
Good.
Using Recruiting Bridge gets the team leader notified. There's just a comment from somebody.
Yeah, and as we move through command, yeah, and that's why I say there needs to be some systems in the market center and stuff, or if you're recruiting to other market centers. And I think with command, we're going to have some of those opportunities as well, because there's definitely a place in there that we put who the referral came from.
Okay. That looks like all the questions for now.
Awesome. I'm either doing a good job or you guys don't have any questions, so that's good. But keep asking the questions. Okay. So focus on the first level. I've already shown you how that first level is important to get people that get people that get people. First of all, we really don't want you doing a lot of heavy duty recruiting. We do want you to do a lot of relating, referring, and we've got the word recruit there, but it's really more about referring, okay? So relate, refer, recruit. So build your own tree. Agents do deals with other agents, right? And you also have past clients that you do deals with. And so on your book here, if you're following along your book, it says, is it too late to build a large tree? Absolutely not. Like I said, there's still plenty of people to join Keller Williams, and our top profit share earner has not actually joined us yet. So there's still plenty of time to do that. Now, this is an exercise. I'm not going to take time to have you guys do it now, but if you're following along in the book, I want you to go back and I want you to think about people that you could recruit to, and in our advanced, or that you could recruit to join Keller Williams. And in our advanced next class that I'm going to have, you can bring this back and you can tell us who you want, and we can talk about some of the ways that you might be able to get those people to join you. Or take this to your team leader and say, hey, I really want to focus on my profit share. These are some people that I think that would be able to join Keller Williams. Can you help me get an appointment with them? That's what your team leader's job is you are supposed to contact your team leader, say, I have people that I want to bring to Keller Williams. Here's their names, and I have a relationship with them, and I want to be a part of helping them join Keller Williams. How can we work on this together? Okay. And in my advanced class that I'm going to do, we can work on this together as well with your team leaders. Okay. Now, it says here, where might you find people that you would like to work with or be in relationship with? So I want you to think about that and write that in the chat really quick. It would be other real estate companies. Think about other places that you might be able to encourage people to get their real estate license, or maybe they're already licensed. I want you to write down in the chat. I want to see what you guys come up with. Can you think of other places that you might be able to work with or be in relationship with? Where might you find some of those people? Think about that. Write some names down, or I'm sorry, write some opportunities down. Ashley, we get anybody writing anything down?
Yeah, open houses, real estate schools, church.
Yeah, you got it.
Spouse, children.
You got it. You got it. People that know people, right? People that know people that know people that know people. That's awesome. Okay. Now, how many times have you guys been in a restaurant and you have the server or the hostess? Maybe we don't go out to restaurants as much anymore. You know, I've taught this class for hundreds of times, and I keep going back to my old scripts about going to a restaurant. And as you go out, and if you get to go to a restaurant, there's always a great server or hostess or a bartender or somebody there. And have you ever thought about asking them to say, hey, have you ever thought about getting your real estate license? You have a great personality for this. And I'm going to tell you, as many times as I've done that, probably 7 out of 10 times, they go, oh, funny you should ask. I'm thinking about getting my real estate license. Or funny you should ask. My mother was in real estate. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting my real estate license. So ask questions. You know, it doesn't matter where you go. Great salespeople in stores, are salespeople, right? Furniture stores, wherever you might go, they're salespeople, and generally they probably would love to have somebody help them where they can make more money selling real estate, okay? And maybe they'd be a great buyer agent. If you're somebody out there that has a real estate team and you want buyer's agents, that might be a great way for you to find people for your real estate team. Again, I'm going to show you a way in our advanced class that you can talk to some people. We can do a Keller personality assessment on them, and then maybe you can find people for your team. So great job, everybody, on that question. Okay, so where can you find people? We just did that. So start the conversation, okay? Set up a time to meet. Look for opportunities to help and refer them to your team leader. So in your book, it gives you more information here, okay? But the best thing to do is share a real compliment to people. Sometimes asking for their input or their expertise is really a great idea. And we're going to give you some scripts here on the next page that's going to relate to a real compliment, all right? So let's just go to the next page here because it's got the scripts on it. They don't have it here on the page. So it says, meet with a co-op agent after a transaction is closed. Well, I know right now we're not meeting with people. However, you can do it through Zoom or just a regular phone conversation. And you can say, it was so much fun doing that transaction with you. I really like the way you handled that inspection. I really like the way you handled that closing. I really like the way that you handled getting the work done on the property. Whatever they did, I love the way that you communicated with me. Every time I called you, you called me back. Whatever they did that was great, find something. And then you could say, could we meet for coffee next week? I just want to get to know you. I have a small gift of appreciation I'd like to give you. That might be a book or something. Is that okay? How about Tuesday at 10? Now, here's the thing. Usually if I'm teaching this live, I ask this question. But there's one thing that you guys need to know. I'm going to ask the question. I want you to think about it. You don't have to write down the answer. I'm going to give you the answer because it's going to say, who sells houses? Who sells your listings? Not the magazines, not Zillow, not Realtor.com. Other agents sell your listings. Other agents buy your listings. Other agents have listings that you go and sell. So you want to be in relationship with the agents on the other side of these transactions, because the more you get to know them, the more they like you, the more available they're going to be to say, oh, Sally just had a listing. I love working with Sally. I'm going to go and show that property because she makes every transaction so easy. So you want to build these relationships with these agents so you have that bonding going on, so it enhances your opportunity to list and sell with them. And then there's some other scripts here on page 31 that I'm going to let you guys go through and do on your own. And in our advanced class, we'll work on these even more. This is a little bit different doing this on Zoom. So, yeah, oops, sorry, I'm going backwards. Okay. So set up the meeting to meet with them, meet with an agent you just met, and invite them to an event. So in your book here, there's actually a script as to invite them to an event. Now, when we get back to normal, we may have events, but right now we don't have events, but we have Zoom. We have Mega Camp coming up. We have Bold coming up. You might have training in your market center. So get with your team leader and work out something where, you know, it's only like $108 now or something like that to be able to attend Mega Camp. And guess what? You don't have to fly. You don't have to get a hotel. You don't have to be away from your business. You're going to be right here. I think that actually this COVID has really helped us with maybe how we're going to do a lot of things digitally in the future. But right now, it's very, very inexpensive to be able to invite a fellow associate or a potential recruit to Mega Camp or to Bold. So go talk to your team leader, give them the names of some people that you've done deals with, let your team leader call them, and maybe you can get them to go to Bold or to Mega Camp. By the way, there's a package that your market center can buy, or you can buy it actually. Let's just say that you had about 15 people that you wanted to invite to Mega Camp. You can actually buy a package and buy that package and invite 15 people to Mega Camp that you pay for, and maybe you might get 1 or 2 recruits out of it. So for those of you that are really, really thinking about this, that's an opportunity as well, okay? Now in the class and in your book, that's an activity that we have you call people, but again, we're not going to be doing this, so I'm just going to be moving forward, okay? So you're going to look for opportunities to help them. You're going to get to know them, share their insights, support each other. You're going to ask them about themselves. You're going to share your business tools and your insights. You're going to be open to any outcomes that happen. And you want to take some time to enrich the relationship. Again, on your page in here in your book on page 35, there's some ideas for you. And there's some other things in here where it says come from contribution. Share with them some things that you're doing. If you know how to do a GPS, talk to somebody how to do a GPS, your goals, priorities, strategies. Teach people how to do a 411. You know, what's your one goal? What do you need to do this month? And what are the 4 things that you're going to get done, or what are you going to do in these next 4 weeks? Share with them the one thing. Share with them the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. Share with them the Shift book. Share with them the training that you're having in your market center. And I want to make sure that I show you before we end today. I'm going to show you some tools that you can utilize, okay? And then the most important part is on page 37, refer them to your team leader. If it's an agent that's outside of your area, go to your team leader, and your team leader will find the team leader that they need to refer the person to. So they will help you with that, okay? And here's another script in the back manual on page 37. It says, I love doing transactions with you. You are awesome. I just told my team leader about you. My team leader is going to call you to thank you for doing business with me. Please take my team leader's call. Now in here it says, will you promise? I've taken that out, and it's going to say, please make sure to take my team leader's call so you don't have to get a yes or a no. There's a script for you right there. That's probably one of the best scripts that you can utilize. Now, I want to open up to questions, and I want you to tell me some objections, like, why do you not like to do that? Okay, in fact, let me see here. I'm gonna kind of end sharing for a minute. Hold on here. I'm gonna end sharing for a minute. This is dangerous. Hold on, stop sharing. All right, now, and I want you guys to open up, and don't open up, just go off mute and ask me. What are some of the objections that, why would you not want to use that script, or why are you afraid to, because I know you are, maybe afraid is the wrong word, but why do you not want to refer people to your team leader? I want you to kind of go off mute and tell me that reason. Who's going to be my first candidate that's going to be brave enough to go off mute and tell me why you don't want to do this, or an objection, why you wouldn't want to do it or use that script? Come on, I want to hear from somebody. Because if you were all doing it, you'd have millions of dollars in profit share, right? Anybody going to be brave enough to go off mute and tell me about that?
I will.
All right, Heather, thank you. Heather?
I'm just afraid because I've only closed 1 transaction. I've only been here a couple months.
Okay. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, I just find it difficult to express all the ins and outs of KW because I'm still learning them myself. But that's why I came to this class, and you're saying it's just my job to refer them to my team leader, and she can do all of that. So I didn't know that until I got here. So
awesome. Well, I love the fact that you're with us for 2 months, and I love the fact that you were open enough to ask that. So let's role play that for a minute, okay? So if I were to, you give me the objection that you're afraid that the agent might say to you. Would you be willing to do that with me right now?
sure.
Okay. So now you pretend I'm the Keller Williams agent, and you're the agent on the other side for right now, okay?
Okay.
You tell me what you think the agent might say that might cause you concern or a reason not to do it. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, hey, Heather, this is Georgia from Keller Williams. I just wanted to call and say thank you for doing such a great job on that transaction. You know, I was telling my team leader about you, and they're going to call you and thank you for doing business with us. So I just wanted to say thank you, and please make sure and take my team leader's call.
Well, it was my pleasure doing business with you. Our transaction went really well, and there's no need to have anybody else call me. They're busy. I'm busy. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can do business again.
Okay, not a problem. I totally understand. And she probably wants to call anyway. That's just who we are. So thanks again for doing that great transaction with me.
All right. Thank you. Hope to see you soon.
Okay. There you go, Heather.
All right. That wasn't hard.
No, it wasn't. Now give me something that you're really afraid they're going to say. Like, I'm afraid, just say, I don't want to be recruited. So say that. So I just did the script, and they say, thank you for doing business. My team leader is going to call you. Be sure and watch for their call.
well, I don't want your team leader to call me. I do not want to be recruited away from where I am. I've been here for 15 years and I love it. So please don't pass along my number. I appreciate it.
I understand, and I appreciate that, and I'll be sure and let them know. And we just always like to thank everybody, and I appreciate that. Thanks so much. I hope you we can listen and sell in the future.
Okay. So just move on past that and shift that to that team leader.
There you go.
Okay.
And just let them know. Just say, hey, I did the script. They said don't call, so I'll just leave it up to you as to what to do. But I just want to have my name in the hat. And let's see if we can get an appointment, and maybe you can do something later on with them, send them a book or something. Your team leader will work with you on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? See, that wasn't painful, was it, Heather? I didn't bite you.
No, not at all.
Anybody else?
I have a question.
Sure, Georgie.
How do you explain when most of the other brokerages, agents come up and they say, why would I join KW when I'm getting 100% commissions? You guys don't offer that.
Well, first of all, that's not your job to do. That's the team leader's job to do. So we don't want you having to do that, okay? But here, if somebody were to say that to me, I would, as a team leader or as an experienced person, but again, I don't want you guys getting involved in having to handle that. Just say, I can appreciate that. Do you feel you reached your potential? Of selling real estate? So Georgie, what I'm doing is if somebody wanted to do something, this would be my response, okay? But I don't want you as agents feeling you have to do the recruiting. Just give that to the team leader and let the team leader handle it. But if somebody on the call here wanted to know how would you respond, my response would be, so Georgie, I want you to role play with me, okay?
Okay.
You're that person at the 100% company, okay? And I'm that now the agent, okay? And Georgie, you just said, why would I give me your response? You're the person at the 100% company.
Why would I join Keller Williams when my brokerage from day one is giving me 100% commissions?
Well, I understand that. Do you feel you reached your potential?
Well, it depends on what potential you're talking about.
So it wouldn't hurt to have a conversation to see if maybe you could be making more money than you ever thought you could make.
Yeah, that's right. And if there's some explanation, maybe I will look into it.
Yeah, so that's why, it doesn't cost you anything to investigate, does it?
Right. Okay.
Okay. So for those of you that just wanted an objection handler, that's why I did that, okay? I have a million of them. That's why you want to be on my advanced profit share class, because I can kind of handle most anything. All right, anybody else? All right, cool. Let's go back to the presentation here really quick. I just wanted to do that so you guys kind of understood how that all works. And okay, so refer them to the team leader. That's the script we just did. If they say something about the recruiting like they did, you can also say, I don't intend to recruit you. I hope you're not disappointed. Am I sharing my screen yet? My team leader and I just want to thank you. So this is in your book. So if you wanted to do that, or like I do, I just say, I understand. Thank you very much. I really love doing business with you, and I hope to do business with you in the future. Here's some things not to say. Don't say anything negative about someone else's company. Don't say anything negative about someone else's broker. And don't ever say anything negative about what you think that they might be experiencing. Like, if they are at 100% company, don't say anything negative about, well, why would you want to be there? You're 100% of nothing is nothing. Don't say things like that. Just, same curiosity. But the main thing I want you to understand is you don't have to do the recruiting. Give that name to the team leader, your job is to build the relationship, give that name to the team leader, and let the team leader do the heavy lifting for you, okay? Now, this is also something, how does your team leader prefer to receive referrals? That's something that each market center is going to be sharing with you. So Some use Recruiting Bridge, some are going to be using Command, some have a piece of paper, some might want a text message, some might want you to call them. That's between you and your team leader. So work that out. And don't be afraid to go to your team leader and if you've done a transaction with somebody and you're just fearful for some reason to pick up the phone and call them and say, you know, my team leader is going to call you, still go to your team leader and say, I don't want to call this person. I'm afraid of them. Can we call them together, or could you make the phone call for me? I know that Jeremy's on this call, and he does a really great job with his agents. They come into the office with him and they make the call together. So the main thing is, guys, we want you to make profit share money. Don't let something that you're fearful of, or something that you're concerned about, or something that you're unsure of, stop you from getting that profit share, because people will join us. And the worst thing I would want to see is somebody that you let go because you didn't want to have a conversation with your team leader, and you see them joining Keller Williams 6 months later and they name somebody else. That would not be good. So always go to your team leader if you're confused about something and say, I need your help. Pick up the phone and call me if you have a question, and I'm happy to help you as well. We all want to make sure you're succeeding at the highest level and earning profit share, okay? And again, this is an activity that we're not going to be really doing right now. Make sure that you're always following up. Connect with them on social media. Call the agent about something, an item that you shared maybe on Facebook or something. Invite them to a class. So if there's people that you just did a transaction with, connect with them, get them on Facebook, invite them to a class, enter them in Command. You're going to be able to track them when you contacted them. Know what to talk to them about. If you see that they've got another listing, follow them. If you got another listing, call and congratulate them on the listing. Ask them questions about it. Stay connected to them. Put them agent on a neighborhood nurturer and a smart plan for their neighborhood. Show them what our Command is all about. Again, on our advanced class, I'm going to be going through some of these things with you for those of you that really want to build your profit share, because there's just not enough time in this time frame to be able to go through all of these things. Okay, offer your KW app to them. Again, this is an activity that we're not going to be doing, and these are the things that we covered today. Now, I want to go off of here really quick. I know we're right at our stopping point, but I do want to show you something else. So I need to actually go back and share this. I'm going to share with you some places that you can go. Let me X out of this. And I'm going to go down here to my internet. And let me move this down. And I'm going to go really easily to KW.com. KW.com. Okay. Now, this is the KW.com website. They're changing a lot of things right now, but I want you to scroll down to the bottom. Scroll down to the bottom, and you see that we have all of our opportunities here. We have all of our headquarters, our tools, our agents, and so forth. So what I want you to do is I want you to click on technology. And when you click on technology, it's going to take you to our technology.kw.com. This is really important, because if you just want to send a recruit some information about us, just send them this website, technology.kw.com. It wouldn't hurt that you go on and learn a lot about this as well, because you can see that if you scroll through here, it tells them all about our technology platform, and you can probably learn a lot of things as well. I know a lot of you probably started with Command a while back, and it's been enhanced, and it's working like a charm for so many people. So I want to make sure that you understand that. And then there's other things that they can click on here to be able to learn more about Command, the consumer app, and so forth, okay, and the consumer experience. You can click here for Outfront Magazine, okay, and this takes them to all the latest and greatest about Keller Williams and all the Outfront features and different things here. So again, if you want something to send to them, just use this as an opportunity to send them information, and they can click through on technology.kw.com. But here's something most important. This is our latest website. So this is the latest recruiting website that's been promoted. And so it says where your business thrives. It has information about we're a company by agents for agents. You can see here it has our mission, our values, our beliefs. It's going to have it has our Y4C2Ts that's on there. We have here the latest in, we have some announcements or testimonials, I should say, our strength in numbers. So it tells us how many associates we have, how much volume we've done. This is changing all the time now because it automatically changes on a day-to-day basis. It says how many home searches we've had, how many marketing designs. There's been 1.9 million marketing designs done. We've generated 1.3 million leads in campaigns. We have 56 million contacts nurtured, and we have 1,900 transactions worked. All of that is being tracked in our ecosystem through the Keller Cloud now. Okay, and then you can continue to see here how many hours we have of training, our on-demand training, and our available courses. And if you click here, it's got all the shared decisions about our ALC, and it also talks about our profit share that's earned 1.4 billion. So you can see here that there's a lot of information that you can just use some of our websites now and be able to send this out. Of course, this says find an office near you, but they're going to need to do that because you're just going to send this to them and they're going to contact you back again. So these are just some tools that I want to make sure that you know that you have at your fingertips, besides the books and all the other things that we have that would that you could send people if you just wanted to be able to have something to send. Okay, so let me stop sharing. And Ashley, do we have any questions out there since we're just about finished?
We had a couple up here. Let me go back. Can the person who received the will begin recruiting for KW after the original person passed away?
You know, that's a really good question. I think so, but write that down, Ashley, and I'll check that out. And whoever asked that question. Okay.
What if the person you sponsor is the only person you sponsor and they leave KW?
Well, then you need to go get more. Unless they brought people in. So let me ask that question again. The person that you it's the person that, ask the question again, maybe I didn't understand it the right way.
Yeah, it says, what if the person you sponsor is the only person you sponsor and then they leave KW?
The person that you sponsor. So in other words, you came in and it's a person that you sponsored.
Monica, are you still on the call? Can you elaborate on your question?
I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm also a new agent.
Okay.
And I actually did the profit sharing and I sponsored somebody, but I believe that person has left the company.
Oh, okay.
I was just wondering.
Just go get more.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know if I can. Okay. So you're, like you said, just go get more. Okay. Sounds good.
If somebody comes in and you recruited somebody and they joined Keller Williams and they leave, they just left, so go get some more people.
Got it. Okay.
You want to get as many people as you can, Monica.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What other questions, Ashley?
That's it. That's what I have so far. I don't see anything else.
All right. So here's what I want you guys to do. This is our first one doing this, and I need some feedback. And I want you to be honest, okay? So I want you to go off mute and tell me what you thought. How was the material? How did I present it? What did you guys think? Just go off mute and be honest with me. What would you like to see more of, less of, whatever? It's okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
Well, I would definitely like for you to do the advanced class.
Okay, well, that's going to be, yeah. So we can't do that in this one, but we'll definitely do the advanced class. Very good. I love that. Okay, what else?
Georgia,
Yeah.
This is Kim. I thought you did really well. The only thing I would work on for sure is the video you did of Gary, because that was a little choppy. But I thought it was really good, and I think the questions and answers are really good too.
Awesome. And maybe what we'll do is we'll send that video out ahead of time, and we'll say watch it ahead, and what did you get out of it?
That'd be good.
Perfect. All right. Very good. Appreciate that, Kim. Thank you. What else, guys?
So Georgia, I like that you took some of the mystique out of exploring profit share and just making those calls, and it doesn't have to be perfect, yet having a plan and keeping it simple is is the best way to approach it and to just get started. So I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. What else? Anybody else? Wish I
I was going
could.
to say, in line with what Nikki just mentioned, I appreciated the fact also that we don't have to feel that we need to necessarily recruit or tell them everything about, KW. Just bring them in and have our, our leader, our market center leader, talk to them. So that takes a lot of the, the anxiety away, I guess.
Awesome. Awesome.
Hey, Georgia, there's a couple of comments here. Wish I would have known sooner. Profit share was confusing. Thank you. I thought this was great. I was pretty knowledgeable about profit share, but I still learned something every training. Love the technology. Looking forward to the advanced class.
Awesome.
I have one question.
Yep, Georgie.
I know one person, a business-minded person, well-established, who was interested in possibly opening a Keller Williams office.
Uh-huh.
Is that considered recruiting, or doesn't?
No, you would
it's
just
not. But how would I go about?
you refer those people to me. So you would just send me an email or ashley@kwnorthflorida.com, and then I'll give you a call and we'll find out. Generally, what happens, Georgie, is that we're very selective on the people that we have opening up our franchises. So generally what we're going to do is encourage that person to join Keller Williams first. However, if they have a brokerage already, by the way, guys, I want to open up something to you. If you know people that are called indies, like let's say you have ABC Realty, they're not a franchise, it's not Coldwell Banker, it's not Century 21, it's not ERA, it's not a franchise. So, but they're maybe a brokerage, an independent brokerage, we call them an indie, and they might have 3 or 4 or 5 offices. I'd love, love, love for you to call me and give me their name. And imagine if you're able to bring over a company with 4 or 5 or 10 agents. Like Georgie, this guy might have his own brokerage or something.
No,
he's
he's a well business-minded person.
Okay. Yeah,
he's not a brokerage or anything, but he wants to invest money and open a Keller.
Yeah, they have to be in real estate, Georgie. We don't look for people that are business people outside of real estate.
Okay, got it.
And this is a when you own a franchise, you've got to have influence to be able to launch a franchise. So we're only looking for people that are already in the business.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Awesome. I love your feedback. We will be getting that advanced profit share class together. Now, also, I want to let you guys know that I'm going to be repeating this. So I'm going to call this the profit share 1, and then we're going to have profit share 2. So profit share 1, we're going to do every month. It'll get better every month that I do it because this is the first time I did it on Zoom. So I think it went pretty good. We learned some things. And so we'll always have this for people to join and learn about profit share. And then we'll have profit share 2, which is going to be the advanced class. So when you guys want to learn more, we want to get a team together or a group together and your team leader together, we'll help you guys. You'll put your plans together and how much you want to do. And we can even have some accountability if you want to do that or whatever help you need. Okay. So just let us know. And we'll be getting that profit share 2 class out. If you're interested in that, would you just go really quick into the chat and just say, I'm interested in profit share 2, and Ashley will keep you on we'll promote it as well, but maybe not, maybe just, we'll probably do this slow, just to those of you that are interested in the profit share 2. Okay. So just go ahead and put your names down and we'll get in touch with you. Okay. Guys, there's a whole $1.4 billion has been shared back with the associates from the time Keller Williams starts. That's a lot of money, and that's going to double itself because it's increased even quicker over the last few years. So there's a huge opportunity for you guys, and we'd love for you guys to get a piece of it and help us grow the company. So thank you so much for being on the call today. Really appreciate you, your feedback, and everything you do for us. And I hope you all have a great day. And go get those referrals and give them to your team leaders. Let's grow your profit share. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye. Keep those going, Ashley.
Thanks, Georgia.
You're welcome, guys.